This episode is brought to you by DistroKid.
Movie night with the girls is a blast no matter what, but sometimes we like to level up our experience and make it more memorable.
Streaming at home is routine, but going to the movies with my friends is an event.
Watching a film on the big screen with surround sound is so immersive and exciting.
And you can't beat those cushy reclining chairs.
And now that I joined the Regal Crown Club, I earn points every time I buy a ticket or concessions.
As soon as she told me Regal has a free loyalty rewards program, I joined too.
I can use my points for concession upgrades, movie tickets, and merch.
I like using my points to enter sweepstakes for exclusive prizes.
On Mondays, I get 25% off candy.
And Tuesdays are Regal Value Days, half off popcorn and tickets as low as $5.
Plus, Regal adds a free popcorn to my account every year for my birthday.
After my 6th visit, I got bonus points.
You've only gone 6 times. I've gone 10 times, and I got even more bonus points.
Wait, you went to the movies without me?
Yeah.
It's Throwback Thursday.
Hey everybody, it's Chris DeMakes, a podcast producer. Chris Fafalius here. It's Throwback Thursday again, and hey, we're not throwing it back that far today. We're only throwing it back about a year and a half or so, back to June 12th of 2023, when we had Fat Mike on for the first of 2 episodes in a row discussing the writing and recording of NOFX's The Decline. I thought this one felt pretty appropriate, especially with NOFX just recently playing their final show. So I won't hold you up here. If you never heard it before, you're in for a wild episode. And maybe if you heard it before, you just want to listen to it again. Either way, I hope you enjoy it. And here you go.
Hey everyone, today's guest is Fat Mike, bassist and lead vocalist for San Francisco punk rock legends, NOFX. Together we break down the writing, recording, and inspiration behind The Decline, an 18-minute and 21-second EP released as a single song by the band in 1999. Mike wears his heart on his sleeve and lays it all out there with this epic track. The song has aged brilliantly, and dare I say the lyrics are more poignant now than ever. Mike flawlessly combined his love for punk rock, the theater, musicals, and his ever so witty social commentary into one brilliant piece of music. This is truly his magnum opus, one I was honored to get the full story of. So sit back, buckle up, and enjoy part 1 of my discussion with Fat Mike. Hey, have you heard? Chris DeMakes a podcast. 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 Mike, how are you?
Hello.
You are our first repeat offender on the show. You're back.
Yeah.
And I decided to go for the jugular. I'm not going to give some long-winded intro here. Everyone knows who the hell you are. And, you know, I want to get the fanboy out of the way off the top. In going back and listening to this track, I don't know how one of my favorite bands went from, you know, it's not a bad record, not trying to, you know, put it down. How you went from S&M Airlines in 1989 to 10 years later. How the band, how you as a songwriter evolved into putting The Decline together. Remember, this is before computers, before voice memos. Like, how the heck did you piece this monster together? It's incredible, Mike.
Thank you. First of all, we're the most improved band.
You are.
It's unarguable. You know, since our first 7 inches in 85 and 86.
It's unreal. I remember hearing this in 99, and I was blown away. I could not believe, you know, a couple things. The song was recorded in June of 99. It was released on November 23rd of 99. It was produced by Mike and Ryan Green. The trombone in the track was played by an old friend, Lars from Skank and Pickle. This record was between 1997, So Long and Thanks for All the Shoes, and Pump Up the Volume in 2000.
That was maybe our best era. Even though I think Wolves and Wolves Clothing is our best album.
I love that record. That's one of my favorite records you guys have ever done. 2016, something really cool. This blew my mind, but it didn't surprise me. An orchestral arrangement was recorded by Baz and his orchestra, and then in 2019, they joined you guys at Red Rocks to record a live version of it, which you can find it online. It's just, it's incredible. It's like goosebumps galore watching that thing, how that came together. I don't know how you put that together.
Well, thank you. And, that night was very special. Brian Baker said to me, "Are you done? Are you done?"
Well, where else do you go? And let me just jump in there.
Oh, yeah, I go places. But also what's important is Decline. The first time I saw Baz do it, because I didn't know about it when he did the 50-piece orchestra, I cried, and I wish I had relatives alive or parents to like show them.
Yeah.
I was so moved by it. And then, I flew him out to the US and said, you gotta work with me. And then we did that, which was different because it was all new parts. It wasn't just mimicking the song. It was new parts written. And also what people don't know or believe is we practiced, well, not together, but on our own, and all guitars and drums and everything. And the orchestra was live. My vocals, I redid some stuff because I was fucking on drugs, and it was dead birds, elevation, fucked with your vocals, but everything was played fucking. I can't believe how well we played that song.
Yeah, and you had some years to practice it by that point, not taking anything away from the band. But, when we get into talking about this recording, again, this is before Pro Tools. It's before editing, voice memo on your phone, how you put this together. And I got to ask you, why an 18-minute plus song? I mean, punks hated the hippies for their 20-minute jams and extended guitar solos. Even the metal bands, Maiden, Rime of the Ancient Mariner, 13 and a half minutes. And how did you think... I'm going to pull this off successfully. If someone came up to me tomorrow, and said, where do I start with NOFX? Prior to me taking a deep dive into this song, I probably would have went with a bunch of different tracks or check out this album. This is your opus, man. You got to be so proud of this song. This has everything.
I think it's the best NOFX piece for sure. And it took me 6 months to write.
How did you decide what was the start of the song? And how did you sit there as a song? There's so many killer parts in this tune. I'm sitting here going, how didn't he make that into a song? How didn't he make that part into a song?
Well, I mean, the point is to not have any bad parts. They all have to be great, and to not repeat. And I didn't know that it was a symphony until Baz said, no, this is what it is. You don't repeat anything. But you bring back a couple things here and there, and that's why you can write symphonies. While they're long, it's still interesting, and you don't get bored in this song, and it's really fun to play. And it was leftovers, but not just leftovers. Like I thought, you probably do this too. We put down riffs and melodies, onto a cassette player, and then when you get enough of them, you try to make songs out of them. And I thought all these riffs were songs, but I just said, no, I want to do this because the Subhumans did Cradle to the Grave. That's why ours is 18 minutes and theirs is 16 minutes.
And no disrespect to Subhumans. God love them. Dick's awesome. This is a different beast. And
no, but back then in fucking 82.
Oh yeah.
People do not think that the Subhumans were the biggest influence on NOFX. And they're not. They were the second biggest. It was RKL.
Yeah, I was going to say it. RKL. I know that.
RKL and Subhumans. But we listened to Subhumans every day. All the records. They were the most, besides RKL, the most progressive band, best lyrics, and the best. So, yeah, we wanted to model ourselves after Subhumans. And we used to do Subhuman songs live. We used to do Rudimentary Peni songs live. That was our jam, except we weren't that good. It took us like 20 years.
What did the band think when you told them, I have this grandiose, ambitious idea, this song? And a two-part question. And when is enough enough? Did you just want to get past the Subhuman's length? Is that what it was? Like,
no, Cradle to the Grave meant so much to us. It meant so much to me. I wanted to make a song that touched people and was more than, I mean, we don't have a lot of funny songs, but more than just a good song. It was my essay on society.
I've kind of went backwards in a sense. Like, I didn't know as much about you when this song came out and how much you were into theater. I mean, you've always had a love for theater, Rocky Horror Picture Show, show tunes, even writing your own production.
I got
Home
the tattoo.
Street Home.
Don't dream it, be it. I got
there. You go. Yeah, your own production, Home Street Home. And this track, The Decline, is like a mini punk rock opera with a socio-political narrative. It's the song that I would send people to if you want to check out NOFX, this is the one. And I said it earlier, this is your opus, which I had to really, I thought I knew what that meant, but opus is a set of compositions by an artist or composer on a very large scale. And in this sense,
is it? Oh yeah,
that's what it's. That's what it says.
I was thinking coda.
And I learned a rock opera is different from a musical. In a musical, they will talk, but a rock opera, they will just have music.
That's why I wrote a musical. Actually, in Home Street Home, there's 12 minutes to go by without a song. You let the drama take over.
Right.
In opera, you can't really do that. You can't. I am cutting myself. You can't sing that.
This came out in 99. You said 6 months it took you to write it. When did you start writing it? Because I look back at your touring schedule, Mike. You were on the 98 Warped Tour. I was out there with you guys. You were touring. You guys were machines back then. You were on the road. Fat Records was blowing up. When did you have time? And how did you construct this?
I try to go by the Stephen King rule of thumb, which is try to write something every day. And if you write a riff with a melody or just a cool riff, that's enough. So when you come back from a tour, you have all kinds of shit on your cassette player and you play them and it's somewhere like, oh, I don't know if this should be a song, but Decline was where I could put all my fucking riffs in one song, just make them the same key. And it was super hard to concentrate.
Mm-hmm.
And the band didn't know it at all. And it was recorded 16 parts.
Well, okay. So I broke this down into 6 parts. I call them each passages here. And I kind of have an idea.
There were 16.
There were 16. Okay. Well, I broke it into 6 for myself when I analyzed it. But there are parts in here where I went, okay, that's a song. That's where the band stopped. They did a crossfade here, and here's where the next piece started. So the band has to be sitting there going, what is this mad scientist cooking up? Because there was no 18-minute demo for them to look at or to listen to.
I don't want to diss my band, but it was more of a me and Smelly thing. And Hefe played a lead on it. But you can't teach a band an 18-minute song as complicated as Decline. It's a waste of time. When we started doing it live, which we never thought we'd ever do it live, everybody learned it. And it was so cool because the first time we ever played the song together, we kind of nailed it.
And when was that? Do you remember, like, roughly what year?
Maybe 2008, 2010, 2006. It was way after the record came out. We didn't want to do it. And then it was just like, let's do it. It'll be challenging. And it's so fun to play.
I bet it is. One of the best times I ever saw you play it was just because of the fact that
Dallas?
This is why I love you.
Dallas?
Yeah. Yes. And this is why I love your band, because you were hammered and you're just like, out of nowhere, let's play a Decline. And if you could see the look on Smelly's face, okay, he wanted to kill you.
Well,
and you guys,
Kevin Lyman said, show's over because there was a storm.
Yeah.
Kevin Lyman said, you have one more song. And I said, we're doing Decline.
We've already played 28 minutes. Now we're going to play an 18-minute song when our set's over in 2 minutes.
Okay.
Oh, man. Well,
punk rock it's absurdity. And I live an absurd life. And every time I go out anywhere, I self-deprecate to make someone laugh. Where's the scabies shampoo? Oh, you don't have that? What about the crab shampoo? Do you have any adult diapers? And I love making people laugh and brightening up people's days.
Well, you certainly do both. And, the thing about this track, again, it's, for me, where do you begin? Like you said, you had these riffs, and where did you just say, hey, this is how I want to start the song? Because how this thing opens and where it goes, it takes you on an 18-minute ride. It does not get boring. And I guess where I'm at with it is looking back, before I could analyze this on a computer, on a grid, and look at how I look at songs like now, you guys went to tape with this. This wasn't Pro Tooled and fixed. Am I correct?
Yeah, no Pro Tool.
Yeah, this was all to tape. So this had to be, I'm dumbfounded at how you put it together, number one. Number two, you do not give yourself credit for the bass player you are, for the parts that you come up with. There's bass playing on this that's just, it rivals anybody that I listen to in the genre and outside of the genre. It's fantastic.
It's funny because Bass Player Magazine did a piece on me, how to play this bass riff. And they said you do it with your fingers. I'm like, you could have called me and asked how you actually play it, and no, I think there's so many great bass players, but I think that one riff before the Christians Love Their Guns.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I invented that style, that triplet of upstrokes.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a circle, it's difficult to play. It's because I wasn't taught bass and I use upstrokes. But thank you for the compliment. I really tried to play some bass lines that are fucking killer.
I know you did. And here I am again. You mentioned it a little bit ago, from 85, 86, your first 7 inches, the Maximum Rock and Roll comp you were on, some of those songs, to Liberal Animation and S&M Airlines, to where you went. I mean, guys like you in 86, it was a dime a dozen in punk rock bands. Out of tune, out of time, sarcastic, snotty, the vocals.
We had to be sarcastic and snotty because we were so mediocre.
Right. It's just
mediocre is a compliment.
Yeah. Yeah. But where the band, and I know Hefe was a big component. I know he was. He's a great singer, and I know when he came in on White Trash 2 Hebes that the band was elevated. But you in particular, as a writer, I mean, this song, okay, there's every influence that I've ever heard you mention. I hear 70s soft rock. I hear the Beatles in here. I hear Maiden. I even hear Tool, the bass playing style of Manilow. Tool at one part.
And Manilow.
Yeah. and Barry Manilow, yes.
There's a little Barry Manilow in there.
It's all here. The song is 18 minutes and 21 seconds. And Mike, from the start here to 3 minutes and 8 seconds, I'm calling this passage 1.
kill is what you want. A kill is why we breed.
And the intro, there's like this backward swell. It's not a cymbal. What was that?
That was all Ryan Green. He produced the shit out of that. He did a great job on this album. But the lyrics for first passage, Amber Waves of Grain, which comes from America the Beautiful or some shit like that.
Yeah.
That's where I was coming from. Like in America, it's unbelievable how uneducated Americans are. It's just unbelievable. And that's where I wanted to start, because the whole song is about how ignorant and uncaring Americans are.
I feel like you could have wrote this today and it would have just as much or more meaning and significance than it did in 99. Reading through these lyrics, it's like, wow, this is all still happening.
And in 99, we had Clinton, and the standard of living in this country was great. Things were going very well. And I didn't really know what to write about. And the prison system is where I went. It was especially when Robert Downey Jr. got convicted and went to jail because he was doing drugs in his hotel room by himself. That just destroyed me. Like, you're not allowed to do drugs by yourself. You're not hurting anyone. And a judge can decide to put you in jail for 6 months. And you know how our prison system, we have more criminals in the prisons. It's just money. And
sure,
I'm getting off the song for a second, but War on Drugs started in 1932 by this guy, Harry Anslinger, who worked for the DEA. And once Prohibition was done, he made heroin and cocaine illegal. And they arrested 20,000 doctors in one day. And the doctors, okay, we won't prescribe heroin for World War I vets who need it. And they're not junkies, they all have jobs, but America decided that. And then we made every other country in the world make drugs illegal. And the prison system, it just goes after Black people. It's developed to imprison Black people. That's what the song starts as. And Christians who love their guns are a little ironic.
Let's get into these lyrics. The intro, again, it's that backward swell into 2 bars of a hi-hat. On the 3rd bar, man, you come in with this distorted bass tone. It's just killer. And then when the band kicks in, panned off right as a vocal, it almost sounds like Melvin saying, fuck no. What's he saying there?
That's based on Bad Religion from Suffer when they say, sit cow, sit cow.
I always thought that Greg was saying sick cow there. Yeah, okay. Band rocks out for about 8.5, 9 bars. It's strange.
It comes in fucking tight as fuck.
Oh, insanely tight. Insanely tight. And then after those 8.5, like 9 bars, it's hard to count with those odd time signatures that Smelly's thrown in there. But then the vocals come in. Where are all the stupid people from, and how'd they get to be so dumb? Harmony on Be So Dumb. Bred on Purple Mountain Range. Feed amber waves of grains to lesser human beings.
To lesser human beings, which is animals.
Ah, okay. Okay. And this is the classic, they call it the forbidden beat, the fast punk rock beat happening here. Then it's followed by a 12-bar instrumental section with a loud octave panned off left. And on bar 9, Melvin again, blame it on, he says. And then the next section is human nature, man's destiny.
Blame it on human nature.
Yeah.
Blame it on human nature, man's destiny.
Blame it on the greediocracy, fear of God, the fear of change, the fear of truth. And we got Hefe on some backing vocals there, man's destiny and greediocracy. I love how it goes back between Hefe and Melvin in this song. It's all over the place.
Yeah, you're mistaken. You know who did all the backups was Spike.
Oh, that's not Hefe. I am mistaken. Well, I'll be damned.
Hefe does sing on this song, but all the harmonies are me, Spike, and Melvin. Spike was incredible on this album.
Well, he is the hands down the best karaoke singer I've ever heard in my life, bar none. It isn't surprising he fronts Me First in the Gimme Gimmes. The next section, add the Bill of Rights, subtract the wrongs. There's no answers. Memorize and sing Star Spangled Songs. wins the questions aren't ever asked. Is anybody learning from the past?
And the questions aren't ever asked.
Yeah. We're living in united stagnation. And we go back to that fast punk rock beat there for a 12-bar instrumental part, drums, bass, stereo guitars before the next section. And, up to this point, is everything played? You haven't had to do any splicing yet.
I don't remember. It was 16 parts, and Smelly likes to record that way. He likes to fucking nail something and say, Jason, fix it.
But it wasn't that easy to fix stuff back then when you were going to tape.
No, there were no Pro Tools.
Yeah.
It was just get the part down and then keep playing. Like get the part and keep playing, and then the part before, start from the ending and then go into the next part. And then it splices easy.
Well, so you're telling me all these harmonies I'm hearing is all Spike.
I don't like anyone to do all harmonies. It's like I want to mix in me or Melvin or Hefe. So
got some different textures and layers.
Right.
Okay. Father, what have I done? I took that 22, a gift to me from you, to bed with me each night, kept it clean, polished it well, cherished every cartridge, every shell. Down by the creek, under brush, under dirt, there's a carcass of my second kill. That line's awesome. Down by the park, under stone, under pine, there's a carcass of my brother William. What is that in reference to?
Well, it's about this kid who killed an animal. And we all have an experience of when we hurt an animal or an insect and went, oh, like, oh my God, what have I done?
Yeah.
And there's a few sociopaths that are like, ooh, that was fun. But me personally, I threw at summer camp when I was like 9, I threw a rock into a bunch of pigeons and I hit a pigeon in the head and killed it. And I felt so terrible. So he killed an animal and he ended up killing his brother because of guns are fun in this country. And they're romanticized too. Like, here's son, here's your first gun, here's your bullets. You fucking sick fuck.
Hey everybody, don't go anywhere. We got lots more coming up with Fat Mike after a few words from our sponsors.
Looking to elevate your music career? DistroKid is a digital music distribution service that enables musicians to distribute their music to online stores and streaming platforms such as Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube Music, Amazon, Tidal, and many more. DistroKid collects earnings and payments, sending them to you, the artist. With DistroKid, artists unlock a world of possibilities. From easily paying collaborators with splits to securing your music with DistroLock, DistroKid covers all bases. Plus, you can promote your releases with Hyperfollow and create eye-catching visuals with a Spotify Canvas generator, all for free. But that's not all. Introducing the DistroKid app, now available on iOS and Android. Artists can manage their releases, view streaming stats, and withdraw earnings, all from the palm of their hand. And for those looking to perfect their sound, check out Mixia. With its simple interface and customizable mastering options, artists can make their music sound polished and professional within minutes. And don't forget about Instant Share, DistroKid's newest feature. Share large files securely with collaborators, producers, and more, ensuring your music streams at the highest quality. Ready to take your music to the next level? Download the DistroKid app and explore their suite of tools today. Plus, listeners can enjoy 30% off their first year by visiting distrokid.com/VIP/DeMakes. That's distrokid.com/VIP/DeMakes.
With Amex Platinum, you can really be in the now. Access to Resi Priority Notify. Yes. 4 p.m. checkout with fine hotels and resorts booked through Amex Travel.
We needed this.
And dedicated card member entrances at select events.
Let's go!
Means you can focus on the present moment. That's the powerful backing of American Express. Terms apply. Learn more at americanexpress.com/withAmex. Card member entrance access not limited to Amex Platinum Card.
The holiday season officially starts when you get that first card in the mail. Shutterfly makes it easy to add more meaning to the everyday with hundreds of holiday card designs that can be personalized in seconds with your favorite photos from this year. Select your greeting, customize the color, and even add little extras like personalized foil to make a holiday card that really shines. Enjoy 40% off with code SMILE40 at Shutterfly.com and send something meaningful this year. See site for more details.
Behind the delivery trucks that keep your life stocked, thousands of employees at BP go to work every day. People bringing a new offshore production platform online. People making our refineries capable of more, like making renewable diesel from agricultural waste. People trading and shipping fuels to our customers. And people helping truckers fill up and get maintenance at our convenient locations. They're part of the more than 300,000 jobs BP supports across the country. Learn more at bp.com/investing in America.
This episode is brought to you by Amazon. The holidays are here, and you know what that means? It's time to get your friends and family the gifts they deserve. Take the stress out of shopping with Amazon's great deals and low prices on a huge range of items from toys to tech and much more. Whoever you're gifting for, Amazon has great prices on everything you need this holiday season. Shop Black Friday week starting November 21st.
This episode is brought to you by Netflix. From the co-director of Shrek and the visionary behind Toy Story comes Spellbound, a magical new animated adventure starring Rachel Zegler, John Lithgow, Jennifer Lewis, Nathan Lane, and Titus Burgess with Javier Bardem and Nicole Kidman. When a powerful spell turns her parents into monsters, Princess Elian must journey into the wild to reverse the curse before it's too late. Watch Spellbound only on Netflix November 22nd.
This is the sound of your ride home with Dad after he caught you vaping. Awkward, isn't it? Most vapes contain seriously addictive levels of nicotine and disappointment. Know the real cost of vapes. Brought to you by the FDA.
Blinds.com is kicking off the savings early with Black Friday mega deals all month long. A Blinds.com design expert can help you make the perfect selection on your schedule. We can even handle everything from measure to your whole home installed for just one low cost. With over 25 million windows covered, Blinds.com is the #1 online retailer of custom window coverings. Get up to 45% off site-wide and a free professional measure right now at Blinds.com. Rules and restrictions may apply.
And now, back to the show.
The line, "There's a carcass of my second killer," is a great pulled back tom fill. It only happens once in the 18 minutes. It's just locked. It's so good.
Second kill, down by the bar, on the stone, on your line. There's a car, it's a mine, run away,
and then there's these really great whoa-ohs with harmonies on the last two lines, the Brother William line, and there's harmonies on the lead vocal too. That whole part.
They're some of the best harmonies on the song.
It's symphonic. It's beautiful. And that was some real singing there. Again, there was no touch in this up and auto-tune.
That's why we got Spike.
He definitely helped.
On So Long and Thanks for All the Shoes, we got Nate from the Bosstones. Because if we're going to play ska well.
Yeah, he played a lot of angst.
Yeah. And 180 Degrees.
It's so easy to defend the status quo. Everyone's so cruel and cynical. When you see the end
you were always very open about that. I remember having arguments with people like, I heard Melvin didn't play on that. Like, yeah, Nate did. Like, why? I'm like, because Nate's killer.
Yeah. Still can't pull off that shit.
Yeah.
We're still going to have John Graber play our ska parts on this last tour.
Yeah. Why not? The last lyrics here in passage 1, I'm calling it. "Brother, where have you gone to? I swear I never thought I could. I see so many times they told me to shoot straight. Don't pull the trigger, squeeze. That will ensure a kill. A kill is what you want. A kill is why we breed. There's some great band dynamics, hits here as we transition to what I'm calling the next passage. And anything there you'd like to comment on those lyrics I just read?
Yeah, you shoot to kill in this country. And cops shoot 5 times to kill. You don't have to go to court.
I know you definitely don't remember. It's been 24 years, but I would be interested to go back and figure out where the 16 pieces were. And like I said, I tried, for the listeners to try to make this a little, easier. And for those following along at home, from 3 minutes and 9 seconds to the 5 minute and 28 second part in the song, that's what we're gonna touch on here. And this part's killer.
Church and NRA pray for their salvations, pray on the lower face. The storybook's been read and every line believed. Curriculum's been set, logic is a threat. Read and search that seed.
First part of this is 8 bars of a killer bass lick. It harkens back to Iron Maiden, this part, and by the way, Eddie, Bruce, and Paul, you got to play it for me on the Punkadelic. One of my favorite NOFX songs, and nobody ever gives it any love. Nobody. The
ending is so cool. The ending is so cool.
You talk about Samson, like that was Bruce's first band. Like I get it. Yeah. I get the joke.
But that. No.
It's so rad. It's so good. But this is the first.
Well, they fucked up when they got rid of Paul.
Yeah. This is the first time that I was really like, okay, Mike's just not a punker. I mean, you can just, who's playing bass like that? This was like, my God, it's like Steve Harris on Speed, I
met him and he's a cool dude.
Yeah. The kick drum is here at the top. The band comes in halfway through, and there's an octave guitar off right for the second half. It's the fast punk beat here with a closed hi-hat. It's the other thing here, Mike, the dynamics. Yeah, this beat's just as fast as maybe the other part we came out of, but the hi-hat's closed now. It's not open. It's very tight on this next section. This is the Christians love their guns, the church and NRA. Pray for their salvations. Pray on the lower face. That harmony on NRA it's awesome.
Their guns, the church and NRA.
The lower faiths, the ones who believe in a different God.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry to tell you people, but they're all made up characters, you fucking morons.
The storybook's been read and every line believed.
That's the Bible, by the way.
Yeah. Curriculum's been set. Logic is a threat. Reason searched and seized.
Logic is a threat. That says it all. Oh, these are alternative facts. And logic, like, when did logic become a fucking crime? It's so ridiculous.
As you're sitting here explaining the lyrics to me, I'm still trying to wrap my head around, like, how did you put them in the order you put them in? You know, I don't even know if you can answer that. I'm just sitting here going, why wasn't this the last verse? Why was this here?
I take songwriting so seriously, and I spend hours and hours and hours figuring it out. It's a fucking crossword puzzle.
It really is. And this part, Mike, where you go, the storybook's been read, the whole progression and bass lick changes. It's up a whole step for this part. It's so neat.
The storybook's been read and every line believed.
Called a modulation, Chris.
Right. How'd you know that?
Manilow, because Barry Manilow.
There you go. Manilow and Neil Diamond were the half-step kings, but we're up a whole step in this one.
Good point. Nice catch.
Yep. This part is really cool. After Reason Search and Sees, the band stops completely, and we get into what I'm calling the 16 bars of the Beatles part. It's such a cool relief in the song, Mike. Hi-hat, toms, snare drum with no snare, it sounds like here.
I like that progression, too. It's like E to E7 to A to A minor, something like that.
It's awesome, and what's going on with the guitar and the tremolo there, it's so cool. It's like distorted, but it's sparkly. It's followed by 8 bars of the fast beat again, bass, guitar panned left, not stereo guitars, and an octave guitar pan right to set up for the next verse, which is the Jerry part you were speaking of a moment ago. Jerry spent some time in Michigan, a 20-year vacation. After all, he had a dime. A dime is worth a lot more in Detroit. A dime in California, a $20 fine.
That's obvious enough, right?
It's extremely obvious. Yeah, I don't have to ask you, but it's...
Dude, Ron from the Stooges, he did 2 years in prison for having a joint. Like, you people are insane.
Yeah, I love the first line here, Jerry spends the time in Michigan. It's like this filtered process vocal. The band sounds small, and then it opens up on the 2 and the 4, but on 3, a dime is worth a lot more in Detroit. On that third line, it's that process vocal. Again, those dynamics that's going back and forth.
Jerry spent some time in Michigan. 20-year vacation after rolling at a dime. A dime is worth a lot more in Detroit. A dime in California, a $20 fine.
Was some of that stuff done in the mix, Mike, or did you record it like that?
No, that was all. That was Ryan's idea.
It's killer. Another 8-bar musical section follows. The same part before the vocals start, the Jerry part. That same 8-bar fast beat with the octave thing comes in. And then it flip-flops again here between the processed and the non-processed. Jerry only stayed a couple months. It's hard to enjoy yourself while bleeding out the ass. Asphyxiation is simple and fast. It beats 17 fun years of being someone's bitch. I think I know what you're talking about there.
Yeah, what would you do? You may want to kill yourself.
And this next part is, man, this is Goosebumps Central. Don't think, stay, drink your wine.
That's the best part of the song, Chris. The harmonies and everything.
Unreal.
Don't think, drink your wine. Watch the fire burn. His problems not mine. Just be my own citizen.
And you get the holdout, killer harmonies on Stay, Home, Be, Safe, on all of those call and responses there. So don't think, stay, drink your wine, home, watch the fire burn, be, his problem's not mine. And man, Mike, on mine, I'm assuming that's Spike going, my-ine.
His problems not mine. Just be.
He cracked, but I wanted to keep it.
It's awesome.
It's I didn't get it. I go, it's perfect.
It is so perfect. I never would have thought that his voice cracked there, but at the same time, I don't think he could emulate that if he tried.
It's so high. It's so fucking high, that note. But what are the 4 words?
Stay home, be and safe.
Stay home, be safe. So it doesn't have to be the others, but it's just stay home, be safe.
No, and that play on words within the lyrics, those little things. Some people have that knack to do those play on words. Sometimes when people do that kind of stuff, like you just illustrated there, it comes off phony, it comes off cheap, it comes off cheesy, and it just doesn't do that here.
I did not drop the world on Heavy Petting Zoo. I sing a whole different subject about Dana, our friend who died in a car accident. Like in between parts, I sing about her. Total different subject. I'm so stoked that you pay this much attention to the song, Chris. It's just like it gives warm feeling.
Well, I'm stoked that you want to talk about it. You don't know sometimes, especially with an 18-minute track. This is a lot we're covering, and I appreciate you appreciating me doing it because, man, I'm telling you, I've been walking pins and needles the last 3 days. I've been so I have to remember everything because there's so much here. The other thing about this part, Mike, is the octave guitar is doing a call and response to those holdout, the stay, those vocals are wow. It's badass, man. That is so good. That's the end of what I'm calling passage 2. Again, for the listeners that are playing along at home, the next section's 5 minutes and 29 seconds to 8 minutes and 18 seconds. There's a 16-bar intro here. The first 8 bars, it's this killer guitar riff and sporadic hits from the band. Then it's 8 bars of drums, bass, stereo guitar, super fast punk. And Melvin here, on the 11th bar of this 16 bars, he screams, "Araye?" That's what I wrote down. "Araye!"
Senseless killing. I'd buy a government. America's for sale, and you can get a good deal on it, and make a healthy profit. Or maybe tear it apart. Start with assumption that 1 million people are smart, smarter than one.
He's saying hoo-wah. Perfect.
He does a lot of it. This is when we started the male yell, I think.
Yeah.
We just yell something because it adds energy.
No, and he doesn't get talked about too much for what he contributes vocally. It's definitely not what Hefe does, but that's not what it's supposed to be.
No. Melvin, his voice is amazing.
It's great.
I really think he's up there with like an Ian McKay or Jason Hall, Western Addiction. He's got a perfect yelling voice because he yells in pitch really well.
Yeah, and that's not easy to do.
The real secret is, back in the old days, bands would play a show once every 2 weeks or once every month, and they could throw out their voice all they wanted to. And that's why it sounded so fucking good.
Yeah.
After you go on tour, you can't do it anymore. Well, I can't do that song. Can't sing that song. You know what I'm talking about, Chris.
You're speaking to the choir on that one. Well, again, there's not many themes here, Mike, that happen again. Okay, when we get to the trombone hook, that happens 3 times, but I'm calling it the Beatles part. The Beatles part comes in again here from earlier. Now, I believe this is Hefe on lead vocals.
Yes.
Here. Okay. And it sounds like you and Hefe are on the backup vocals, but I'm going to guess that's you and Spike.
I don't know.
Okay.
I know I did it.
Well, the lyric is, I wish I had a shilling, and the backing vocal is for each senseless killing. And then for every senseless killing, I'd buy a government. America's for sale, and you can get a good deal on it. A good deal on it is that held out harmony again, and make a healthy profit. The next part, again, the production goes really sparse here. It's just drums and one guitar panned off left, or maybe tear it apart. Start with assumption. The next 2 lines, the big stereo guitars come back in. That a million people are smart. Smarter than one.
Where does that come from? My political science class in college. I have a degree. Sure, of course I have a degree. I'm Jewish. But the professor said, you fucking kids, you get a vote, fine. And I only get 1 vote. I've been studying fucking politics my whole life. I should get 250 votes. It's not fair that educated people only get 1 vote. I mean, you can't base voting on race or faith. Well, maybe on faith, because fucking Christians shouldn't get a fucking vote. But who's smarter? A million people or 1? I say 1. When Gorbachev became president of Russia and changed everything and wrote Perestroika, you know what? They needed someone to say, fuck all y'all. We're going to change shit because our country is dying. And Ralph Nader, people voted against him, but he's looking out for actually, fuck Ralph Nader, because he did not give up his votes to Gore. But mob mentality is not smarter. Just like art by committee, music by committee. Hey, all 5 members are going to write songs in this band. Okay, well, you're never going to be popular then.
Too many cooks in the kitchen.
Right.
Yeah.
Your band, Listen Jake, actually has a lot of good songwriters.
We try, but your point, well taken. Sometimes it's like, dude, this is your song. Make the demo of it. You have a vision for it. Just do it. Like, I'm going to muck it up.
Yeah. When someone, it was like, oh, well, let's try this and let's try this. And this part would work good there. It's terrible. It's when your band breaks up.
Yeah. Yeah, no, there's a lot of weight to that.
Like JR, man. JR's written some good songs for Less Than Jake.
He has. He's the ace up our sleeve. I've always said that. He is so good.
I mean, you have Roger, you have Vinny. Well, you had Vinny. JR.
Yeah. It's not lost on me, man. Like, but at the same time, I what I said is so true. Sometimes it's just too many cooks. This part, Mike, is followed by that 16-bar trombone hook, and this trombone hook, man. I was trying to think of the right words to describe it. It's morose, but it's triumphant at the same time.
Oh, that's a really good. That's awesome. What you just said. It's triumphant. But it's sad.
It really is. And this hook goes with the bass drums and stereo guitars. The bass line again here, I have it in my notes. Bass line here is absolutely killer. Around bar 7, there's a cool bell of the ride cymbal. Ding, 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 overdub that happens. It's kind of a theme. It's kind of a theme that happens later.
I played that.
Did you?
I played it while Camille was playing drums.
It sounds urgent. It's awesome.
I got that from a band called The Offenders from Texas, a hardcore band. And the drummer did that. And it always stuck with me.
It's so cool. And again, it's one of those things where you can hear it's an overdub, but it's great. This part is followed by a musical interlude with drums, bass, stereo guitars, an octave guitar panned right, and an awesome blown out. What is this guitar that comes in here? Is it a baritone guitar?
I know what you're talking about. That's bass.
That's bass.
That's bass chords.
What did you run that through? I mean, I typically don't get into gear here too much on the show, but like,
I don't know. We I think it was a Rat.
It sounds massive, and it almost sounds out of time. Was that on purpose?
No, it wasn't. But I switched from minor to major halfway through, which is a weird thing.
Yeah, there's something in there. It's just it's very odd and strange, but so cool. That bass doing those chords is killer. And then we get into the next part, and the bass and filtered vocal only. The bass sounds really muffled here, almost like it's EQ'd flat. And the lyric is, serotonin's gone. She gave up, drifted away. Sarah fled, thought process gone. She left her answering machine on. The greeting left spoken sincere. Messages no one will ever hear. Who's Sarah?
It's someone getting shot in the head at a protest. And your serotonin, you're shot in the head, serotonin's gone.
Oh my gosh.
Your thought process is gone because you're dead. And the message left was the sign they were holding.
Okay. Well, this part has a closed hi-hat. The drums are almost doing kind of like what I would call a shuffle beat kind of, and you guys have implemented this feel in other songs. I love when Smelly goes to that beat.
10,000 messages a day, 1 million more transmissions play, victims of the laissez-faire.
10,000 messages a day, 1 million more transmissions lay, victims of the laissez-faire. 10,000 voices, 100 guns, 100 decibels turns to one bullet, one empty head, now with serotonin gone.
Now explain the story more. 10,000 voices, 100 guns, 100 fucking cops, and all the messages, one shot, serotonin's gone.
Have you ever done this? Have you ever, and I'll do it sometimes, especially now, because Google's your friend. You're just like, oh, I want to know what the lyrics to whatever song was. And, I've heard this song hundreds of times, and I never got that. Sarah's fled and Sarah's gone. I don't know. Like, that just hit me, the way you laid that out. That's heavy.
Yeah, the song's fucking heavy and direct, but poetic.
Have you ever, as a songwriter, and I don't want to stray too far here, we're going to get back into the song here, but have you ever looked out? I know propaganda. I've heard Chris talk about this in interviews where, you'll just see like these dudes going crazy in the pit, and they're not hearing what you're saying lyrically. They're just there for the music. Does that bother you as the kind of writer you are with your lyrics and how you want it to speak to people?
Not that people are there because they like the songs. And people are never going to understand my lyrics. I have worked on a book a little bit. I'm too busy right now at the Punk Rock Museum, but I'm working on a book of 100 songs and what they're about. And NOFX fans will enjoy this book. I wrote 2 pages on what Dying Degree is about. Like USA Hills, people have no idea what that's about, and they don't know what my songs are about.
That's great, and I know people will.
Being artists,
yeah,
you can't be correct.
People will flock to get that book. Well, after the serotonin's gone part, you get a gone that's screamed. I believe that's Melvin. And then it's 4 bars of music with no vocals. And then we get into passage 4. Hey, everybody. That's the end of part 1. But we'll be back next week with part 2 of our dive into the decline with Fat Mike.
Coming next week in part 2 with Fat Mike.
We entertain people. We pretend to be happy. This is great. And we bring pleasure to people. What a great profession. Bring pleasure to lonely people or unhappy people. That's what we do as in a band. We bring pleasure to people, and we don't always want to go on stage, do we, Chris? No. We feel like shit, but I'm going to go on stage to make these people happy. We're all fucking whores. It's just how it is. I ruined my body by, doing drugs and alcohol just to get on stage because I don't feel like it anymore. And judging people, I can't fucking stand it.
What makes a song a smash on the charts? Is it talent? Luck? Timing? Well, as chart analyst and pop critic Chris Molanphy would say, it's all that and more. Chris hosts Hit Parade, a podcast from Slate, where he tells tales from more than a half century of pop chart history. Through storytelling, trivia, and song snippets, he dissects how the artists you love or hate dominated the airwaves and shaped your memories forever. He's explained why Steely Dan is yacht rock and Jimmy Buffett isn't, why girl groups dominated the early 60s and boy bands the late 90s, how the members of disco band Chic wrote a bass line that launched hip-hop, how Taylor Swift pivoted from country to pop, how Sam Cooke invented soul and James Brown invented funk, and what exactly a one-hit wonder is, and whether the band a-ha is a one-hit wonder. I think you'd really like it. So for Tales of the Hits from Coast to Coast, make sure to follow Hit Parade wherever you get your podcasts.
This is the story of Whitney Houston.
This is the story of Kurt Cobain.
Of George Michael, of Otis Redding, of Amy Winehouse, of Michael Hutchence, Bob Marley. This is the story of Prince.
It's a new podcast series
about how they died, why they died, and why we're still talking about them so long after.
It's like nothing you've ever heard before.
It's storytelling.
But it's more than that, because rock stars,
they tell us how we feel. They change our mood.
They change the clothes we wear, the people we hang out with,
the way we remember things.
It's them who give us those ludicrous moments, the ones where you're
jumping around, singing your heart out, feeling understood.
And it's those moments we'll help you remember, the ones you're thinking about right now.
That feeling.
That feeling.
It's coming soon from Crowd Network.
Just search for Death of a Rock Star on your podcast app.
And subscribe now.